Welcome back to the Human Resource in Practice program. We'll be talking about the human resource professional in business. For you, it is the human resource practitioner in business. So, when you hear HRBP in this program, we're talking about you. Now, in the HR space, where you hear the HRBP, you'll be looking at the human resource business partner. Okay, it goes beyond being the human resource as a generalist. Now it is you looking at HR from the business point of view. And so let's go on with this. So the objective of this session today is to demonstrate an understanding of key concepts and practices as a human resource business partner. Okay, understand why HR is important in meeting organizational need, demonstrate competencies in problem solving in the area of HR from the business perspective, and relate HR to overall business activities within the organization. Now, human capital, as you already know, is considered to be one of the most crucial feature for an organization to be able to succeed. And HR cannot be replicated. HR processes systems. We might have an overall foundation, all right, a framework that everybody works with. However, because every organization is unique on of itself, is unique on its own, have different vision. We might sell the same product, offer same service, but the vision and the big picture behind that business is different. So there is no one size fits all for solving problems or for executing and implementing HR solutions within an organization. The HR is important to the success of an organization, and we are responsible. Yourself, myself, we are both responsible and as custodians to ensure that these critical resources are doing what they have been employed to do. Now, why is HR not considered as a critical factor to the success of teams or the success of an organization in the past and in some businesses? Some business owners also still see HR as not a critical factor, a critical team in the success of their organization, as compared to the marketing team, the IT team, or the operations team, or the logistics department, depending on what business, what business what industry that business, that company is operating in. Then, what opportunities does the HR have to change this perception? These are critical questions that we are going to be giving response to as we go on in this session. Now, as a human resource practitioner in business, HR begins with the business. The foundation of our sessions, in other training sessions that you have taken in the Human Resource and Practice program, we have insisted and we still stand by it that HR is people focused. However, when you have decided to build a career as a business partner, a human resource business partner, your perspective has to move upwards to accommodate business as to accommodate this profitability of a business as an important factor for the sustainability of that business organization. All right. As much as people is critical to the success of the business, HR must also begin to think like a business person within the organization. That is the summary of all we'll be talking about today. HR activities must be tied to the business. As an HR practitioner, you must develop a deep understanding of all that the organization is involved with. So, for example, if you're a lighthouse HR company, you must understand everything that we are involved with, from client engagement to investor partnership discussions to customer care to marketing to tech to all of the functions in operations in lighthouse HR company, that as regards human resource and people engagement. So you must have an understanding of the external business we are involved with as much as the internal factors, issues that determines our processes. You must be able to clearly articulate how your activity as a human resource practitioner contributes to the development, the growth and sustainability of this business so that it can stand and have an edge over its competitors. So bear this in mind. As an HR practitioner, you have an all-encompassing role, be it an entry level, a junior staff, or a new hire. Take it that your activity as a human resource practitioner is all encompassing. Now, when you are going deeper into becoming a business partner, a human resource business partner, you are going beyond just having people knowledge and doing people business. You are now doing the business of profitability. You are executing your project from the business perspective, business point of view, even as an HR practitioner, which will require that you have a thorough knowledge of the organization, her complexities, as well as her intricacies of that business, her products and her services. Okay, not forgetting her external stakeholders as much as her internal stakeholders. So you must be able to develop a linkage between the critical factor of a business, which is people, and the organization's commitment to ensuring that it stays successful as a profitable business. Okay. Now, as an HR practitioner, your role is to plan, to develop, and to administer policies and programs so as to maximize every human resources or resource employee in particular within the company. Okay, your role is to plan, your role is to develop and administer the policies, the programs, the system structure strategies. So you can optimize the organization's human resources for maximized performance, which in turn translates to profitability one way or directly or indirectly with the organization. So you must be concerned with the people at work as much as the relationship they have with that particular enterprise, with that business. Now, as a key objective for an HR practitioner, one of key things that you must consider when you are in the line of implementing your task, your duties and responsibilities is that you must effectively utilize HR. Okay, you must effectively utilize HR across all units, across all departments. Your responsibility or your objective is to ensure and build a desirable working environment and wholesome working environment where all members of staff enjoy coming to work. Not that it is TGIF and everybody's happy to leave, and then it is Sunday night, people are entering into depression because they have to resume work the following day. Okay, so you must be able to consider yourself as an agent that has been sent to that work environment to build a desirable working environment that thrives on positive relationship, then maximize individual development inclusive of yours. You cannot say others are being developed, trained, and then you on your own are letting yourself sleep. So, your key objective as an HR practitioner is to maximize employee development. Every opportunity you have to train your staff, give them the opportunity to do external and in house learning, please ensure you encourage the organization you work with to invest such effort and financial resources into empowering her team. Now, what are the key roles of the human resource practitioner? It has been said in other sessions, but we'll delve deeper in this one. One of the most crucial role for HR practitioners as yourself or as you will be is continuous education. We cannot overemphasize this enough. It is continuous education for yourself and other employees. Now, this education or learning programs will help every team member to face the challenges and the continuous change that happens, particularly in every business. Change is a constant factor. Okay, change will continue to remain as long as that organization seeks growth and as long as the individual seeks a better life, okay, or a balanced life, maybe life or work life balance, or life work balance, as we like to call it now. The point is that continuous education will empower us to stay, to face these challenges and stand strong, transformed, continuous transformation in the midst of organizational change. So, the employees that you work with must also be able to know about finances. So, as a human resource business partner, remember we mentioned that HR must also be seen from the business side of view, okay? Which means that as an HR practitioner, you should have an understanding of balance sheets, financial statements, diversification of plans within an organization for maximum profit, price movement, turnover, and other details about the company that has to do with her products and her services beyond her people. Okay. Now, your key responsibility also is to develop thorough knowledge of the corporate culture, the plans, and the policies for yourself and for others. Okay, because you cannot give what you do not have. Because you cannot give what you do not have, you cannot give people nothing. So you must develop a thorough knowledge of, you must take responsibility for yourself, for your learning. Know a lot about the company culture, her plans, and her policies. Where there are none, okay, and for example, if you are working for a small, a growing company, maybe a startup, a small company, or a company that is still in the works. In the works means that from this description or illustration, the works means that it's still on paper, okay, still undergoing setup and all that. Now, the key thing is that if there are no policies, can you learn to develop one? Okay, so that it will be there's laid down policies, procedures, structures that you can use, and every other person coming along the growth of the company will also be able to leverage. Your responsibility also is to serve as an internal agent and consultant to employees. Consultant in the sense that you give advice. Do not say that, oh, I'm still young, I'm just a junior, I'm aspiring, I'm entering. Bear in mind that your little words of wisdom could go a long way in ensuring that the company hits our goals. So do not underestimate. As much as you will not overestimate or exaggerate your capabilities, do not also undervalue or underestimate what little advice you can give to grow the company. Initiate change and act as an expert and facilitator. From day one, take it with um take whatever choices or decisions you will make with such boldness. Please, informed decisions, not just decisions based on bias, decisions based on your personal opinion, based on your personal experiences, but find information, seek knowledge, and to be able to help you make proper decision in whatever situation, leveraging data. Okay, leveraging data. And you can't just take data from the air. You can't take data from company A and try to implement it in company B, especially if they don't even align in goals, in vision, or they are not even in the same climb. All right. So it's not a copy and paste kind of thing. You must be able to use whatever little data you have within that organization, analyze it to be able to make solid, sustainable decisions. Your responsibility as an HR practitioner also is to be actively involved in company strategy formulation. Now, maybe for an aspiring HR practitioner, a junior and entry level, a new hire, you might not, in some organizations, you might not be invited to do strategy. But again, with the example of the startup I mentioned, you might just be the first batch of employees who are entering that organization. You might be required to sit with the boss, sit with the owner of the business, the founder of the business, and say, "Come along, Elsie, let's discuss this matter together. How do we grow our culture? How do we formulate our policies? Can you do this? Can you make this suggestion, and this suggestion? This is the big picture." So at that level, yes, you might be able, you must be prepared to engage, actively when such opportunities come. Furthermore, in terms of human resource development, that is knowledge, learning and development, training and all that, you should be able to evaluate the impact of every training program you develop, or it's already in play prior to your coming in that organization. From interventions to conducting research to doing identifying gaps to even testing those materials, it is your duty. All of this is to generally improve the individuals involved and the organization at large. All right. You are to provide coordination and support services for employees. That is a major responsibility for HR. Keep your communication line open and at all time. Ideally, although we'll encourage HRs to set boundaries, but ideally HRs don't have closed door policies because of the task they have been assigned with. Okay. However, for the sake of staying professional and for also protecting yourself from certain people, also certain opinions, set boundaries for yourself. However, the HR practitioner operates with an open door policy based on the HR functions in execution within that organization, where individuals, teams, groups can come to you within the organization and speak with you, sharing their challenges, their problems, and suggesting that you make recommendations where necessary. Your responsibility also is to identify and ensure that your learning and development programs are strategic and are in line with the overall business objective per time. Okay. You are also to diagnose problems. We talked about it in the story of the open door policy. Diagnose problems and then determine the appropriate solution in each of these areas. Remember, we mentioned that HR is not a one size fits all function or a one size fits all department. Every problem has solution. Every individual their experience. Okay. Also, understand that your duty is to facilitate the development of various organizational teams from marketing to tech to customer relations to investor and partnership engagement, to finance to accountants, even to operations and administration, to other support staff who might not be permanent staff, to factory and managing a relationship with factory workers and within the organization. Okay, so yours is to develop an environment, develop programs for various units of the organization. Then try and relate with people, work with people that are within the organization within the confines of the objective of the company. Try as much as possible to relate with them, and then they also should be encouraged to relate with the organization in such a way that all both personal objective of why the employee is there versus the goals of the objective of the company will find a center point and everyone is it's happy. It's a win-win for all. So the roles played by HR practitioners are diverse. We bring the issues and trends to the organization's decision makers, all right, so that they can make informed decisions. That's one of the roles that you play as an HR practitioner. All right. Bring the issues and trends concerning an organization's external and internal people issues. Bring into the knowing of the key decision makers, so that they in turn can make the proper decision for excellence and endurance within the business. Secondly, your key role also is to design and prepare HR systems. We talked about that. Design and prepare HR systems so that maximum impact is felt within the organization. It will also, of course, it will improve decision, it will improve performance, it will improve capacity development, and it will improve overall profitability. Now, to facilitate the development and implementation of strategies for the sake of transformation is also your role. Okay. If you are already not in that space of developing an implementation, have it in mind that you will grow into that role. So do not just take it that, oh, let every other person do everything and I point fingers. You need to own the process of development, start owning the process of implementation. Know that whatever strategies you put in place or now or in the future will tell, and it will help transform the organization and her people or mar it. So your key role is to pursue value and let those values contribute directly or indirectly to the execution of the vision, the execution of the vision of the business. We cannot overemphasize positive relationship within the organization versus negative relationship towards a toxic environment. We cannot overemphasize this. As an HR practitioner who is a business partner or will one day be a business partner, create a positive environment where customers, when they enter into that office, they can feel the vibe of friendship, of wholesomeness within that organization, of oneness. When it is not a stiff environment where there's so much tension because everyone is either trying to outsmart each other or compete with each other. Customers or clients stay within an environment that is warm, that they know that when they come, their needs are priority, as against or versus an environment where the employees do not know what is going on within business, but rather they are more concerned about beating each other in the game or joining or leading in office politics, okay, so to speak. So to be able to utilize resources and to maximize these resources, whether human resources or financial resources or other assets outside of human assets, you must be committed. You must be committed first, and then you must create a form of commitment amongst your employees so as to meet the goals of the organization, and then customers in turn can be happy. All right. Your key responsibility also is to enable that individuals, teams, and groups work with every situation that comes with to their advantage and the advantage of the organization. So where change is happening, your role is to be that change agent. Employees, yourself, the leadership, the executive are to leverage, just like the eagle leverages on the wind, okay, with great vision. The eagle will not naturally have to struggle with the wind. Rather, it just glides as the wind, as the wind goes. So also, the HR practitioner should see yourself as the eagle and see the change happening as the wind. Where you leverage this change. Now, don't just take this mentality for yourself. Share the same mentality with members of your team. Okay, even every opportunity you have to say this, even when the executives or the leaders are there. Leverage change as the eagle will leverage the wind. Okay, change the views of people, both in power, subtly and with respect. You know, ensuring that whatever leadership is in play within the organization you work with is friendly in your own level, at your own time. Okay, but grow with the knowledge that you can actively, positively contribute, boldly contribute without stepping out of your boundaries of work, okay, to the development and growth of the organization and the support of leadership for positive decision making. Also, your key role is to help employees to assess their competence. We have a lot of people who have an exaggerated assessment or view of their competencies, their values, their weaknesses, and their strengths within the workplace. I must tell you that. And both of us, myself as an HR practitioner, yourself as an HR practitioner, are not exempted. It is important for you to have a self-examination of your competencies, your capabilities, your knowledge, and everything that you possess there. Do an assessment of it and know what level you are. Then you in turn will help other people do same. Help employees identify, plan, and implement development plans. Once this assessment is done, You already know the gaps, right? So you start planning on methods, programs that you will attend to help develop yourself. Assist other employees to add value in the workplace. Assist other employees to add value in the workplace and focus on interventions, intervention programs, transformational programs, interpersonal skills development, so that they can glide with the wind, like what? Like the eagle. So assess human resource development practices within the organization, check up the programs, find out if there is direct impact or the program is just not contributing to the big vision of the organization. And in cases like that, it's either you make adjustment for change, or you discard the program, or you shelve it for the nearest future. A program right now in operations and is not generating the right result does not mean that tomorrow it will not generate the right another result given the right circumstances. Now, having said that, what mindset or understanding or heart should a human resource business partner have within the organization? Number one thing, and very important, is value creation. Now, can we answer this question? Can you answer this question? Do we create value in the business unit we serve? And does that value have a direct impact on quantifiable business objective? Every activity of a human resource business partner answers this question: creating value, exchanging value, offering value, and measuring that value. Because you cannot keep dishing out and not checking if it has a direct impact to the bottom line. That's the financial bottom line of the business. As a human resource business partner, you are different from the human resource generalist. The reason being that I'm not saying being a human resource generalist is not a good place to start. I'm saying it is important to start as a business generalist and then grow into business partnership within the HR space. Because the difference between these two is that the HR business partner understands the financial implication of every decision that the HR must make, especially when value is considered. So we must give room to be able to answer this question when we are executing our roles. HR being people focused in the past versus HR creating and delivering value is is an end to end. We can describe it as end to end. They are far from each other. In the past, we were strictly focusing on people. We still do. Our core responsibility as human resource is people focus. However, once you've chosen to operate as a business partner, HR must find the balance between people focusing on people and ensuring that the people themselves execute the big picture for improved bottom line and profitability of the business. So, in creating and delivering value, a true human resource business partner is all about delivering value, creating value towards improving the overall strategic goal of the organization. Now, that mindset that you must take as a human resource business partner is this: as much as HR is people focused, with you as a business partner, HR begins with business, ends with business, with people in mind. HR begins with business, ends with business, with your people in mind, with the employees in mind, your human capital, your human personnel in mind. HR activities must be tied to business. Your HR activities must develop and must be born out of a deep understanding of the organization. Second point, you must have the knowledge of external business issues, especially within the industry. So, for example, Lighthouse HR Company, our services are offered within the industry or the sector of professional services and consultations, right? Okay. where we offer human resource functions as service offerings and as a business. Now, the thing is that whatever issue or factor that or trend happening within this space, as an human resource business partner, you must have a deep knowledge about this. And this knowledge must be relevant to our internal operations. So, for every external knowledge you have, it must be relevant to our what internal operations. Thirdly, you must be able to clearly articulate how your activity as HR contributes to the competitive advantage of the business. What that means is that whatever it is you do as HR, how does it place the business as first or as foremost or as profitable in that sector? Okay, you must be able to clearly articulate everything I do must be measurable. It is not just taking those decisions or making those choices, it is valuing it, accessing it, how and asking yourself, this step I'm about to take, this decision HR decision I'm about to make as regards this employee, this policy, this structure, this strategy, how does it contribute to ensuring that that company is profitable? Fourthly, adopt technology, embrace AI, right? But don't let AI or other technological tools control you, make you redundant, make your thinking capabilities dormant, all right? They are supposed to enhance your ability to deliver optimally on the job, improve profitability, or sharpen your business acumen as against replacing it. So you must be able to do a merge between human intelligence, your human intelligence, and AI tools, artificial intelligence, or other technological instrument. Now, what are the key roles as a business partner in human resource? You are to help the executive and the leadership, leveraging HR as a center of excellence, okay, to deliver efficiently in all of her HR processes. Okay. In terms of leading talent and managing talent processes, not just the processing, but the talent themselves, as a business partner, you are responsible for leading efforts to deliver and develop programs that are long term in achieving both the midterm and the long term and the short term strategy in that environment. So, with continuous development, you already know that employees will be retained, especially if the organization has them and their future potential in mind, future growth, promotions, and all that, the development in mind. Some not organizations, yes, some organizations do not have growth trajectory, growth plans for their staff. So with that, attrition rate is high. Attrition means the rate of people exiting a business is high. So if you want to potentially keep quality hands within the organization, the HR must know that development and retention go hand in hand. Every employee wants to succeed another, not out of discarding them, not out of an evil thought. Please bear this in mind. But rather, when you say I have the potential to succeed another, meaning that the person I want to even succeed is going on to greater things. Okay, so and then I'm also recording success. I'm also recording growth in my career as an HR business partner. Now, in delivering your duties and in developing human resource programs, these programs, you must ensure that employees' productivity is enhanced, focusing on, leveraging business obstacles that might occur within the human resource space. So, whatever obstacle, again, like the ego, you must leverage it to improve on your human resource programs as against discarding. Now, where we do not have a choice than to discard a program, do not take it as an outright discard. Rather, put it on the side for future references. You might say, or we might not say, this program that is not useful today might bring great results tomorrow. Now, we had mentioned earlier that you are a change champion in changing management process, in ensuring that people adapt to change easily. So you're responsible for acting as an impartial advisor to employees, especially in difficult situations where you are not biased, you are giving informed decisions, you're supporting them, being their motivation, and also motivating them to do the right thing, leveraging on what's change for their growth and development. Okay. Another key role is that you are to keep HR processes fully compliant with legal and structural frameworks within the state level, within the organization, within the local level, and also at the federal level. Now, if you are operating in a multinational um, organization, multinational company, it will also include what? Staying compliant with legal laws across the different continents or countries at which your company works operates in. Okay. Now, in terms of formulation and implementation of organizational business strategies and objectives, your people have related data. As a human resource business partner, your people data is a critical tool that will give you insight to the overall capability of the current staff you have, the workforce you have now, and the projected or forecasted workforce you will be engaging with in the future. What that means is that if you are able to access people related data, it is important to leverage this data and then use it to develop programs that improves the perception of the business in terms of interdepartmental relationship, individual relationship, in terms of the strength of the business and her team, the weaknesses of the organization and her people, even individual strengths and weaknesses. This data should help you improve the perception, and then you can leverage this data to positively impact on the organization as well as the people. So everyone sees themselves as the ability to be better and to do things in a better way. Now, strategically speaking, as a human resource business partner, you must turn strategy into results. Every strategy must turn strategy into results. You must make change happen, and in particular, help this change to happen fast for the growth of the organization. You must learn to manage talent and their intellectual capabilities. Okay. You must champion this role of managing talent and the intellectual capability that is within them. And then back to our foundation administrative role. Okay. Strategically speaking, you must try as much as possible in all that you do, specifically to get things done better, faster, and cheaper. Now, you have made up your mind that you want to take up the role of you want to grow into the role of the human resource business partner. What model can you adopt? There are four models you can adopt. You can become a human resource business partner in terms of business development, as a business developer, selling HR solutions, act as the point of contact in terms of, like, for example, Lighthouse HR company. If you want to become a business partner in terms of sales, you can act as our contact person, okay, for selling our HR functions and HR services. You can share in our HR business goals. You can lead, difficult HR projects which people have failed, design HR plans for departments and then sell our solutions. That is human resource business partner in terms of business development. Another model you can adopt and grow a career in is you can be a change champion, support business strategy implementation, lead change management initiatives across the different departments, help employees to navigate change, provide expert advice, guidance, coaching, mentoring, to help managers and even your colleagues as time goes on. Thirdly, you can adopt the model as an administration expert. In this case, you help with payroll management, personnel administration, you provide data and data analysis across departments, you ensure full compliance to procedures and policies within the organization. And the fourth model is you become an employee advocate. You know, help with running regular employee surveys, you protect employees and their interests, okay? During management discussion, you collect data, you act on this feedback, and then you help employees. Now, business, as a human resource business partner, you must understand that business success is largely dependent on getting the right people, doing the right job, with the right skills, and at the right time. For talent drives strategy. Okay. So, in all that we have said about HR and the role of a human resource business partner, do a self assessment for yourself and your team. Okay. And then you tell us in the comment section, in the open forum, or on the WhatsApp community page, explaining to us the key roles as a human resource manager within the space of human resource management. Thank you very much and see you in the next session.